these same people that I'm about to show you right now are from the same tribe, brothers and sisters, that we are. We're going to test y'all Israelites are black people today. Read.
The Israelites migrated through Central Asia along the Silk Route into the northwestern region of China.
Whoa, there's historical and genetic evidence of the Southern Kingdom moving into China. Read.
Perhaps during the latter part of the Zhou dynasty, approximately 600 BC.
And approximately 600 BC. Read.
The people of Israel, upon their arrival in China, at their best, taught the highest ideas of moral and ethical excellence. Their social principles and values were identical with that of the Chinese ethical rules and systems.
So why did the Israelites and why did the Chinese get along? Why were the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi getting along with the Chinese? Because remember what the Most High said. He said, you used to have values. You used to have standards. You used to be a beautiful, delicate flower. Remember, the same morals and standards that we had as Israelites was similar to the honor that was held by the Chinese. So we were able to coexist. The same morals and values held by the children of Israel were the same morals and values held by the people of China at that time. It says that the people of Israel, upon their arrival in China at their best, taught the highest ideas of moral and ethical excellence. Their social principles and values were identical to that of the Chinese ethical rules and systems. We fit right in. Read.
Therefore, the Israelites were accepted as a civilized race of people by the Chinese. Continue.
Go ahead.
And concepts such as Redeemer or the Holy One were also introduced to the Chinese.
The idea of a Messiah was introduced to the Chinese people. Interesting. For all those people, oh yeah, Christ, there's no such thing as Christ. Christ doesn't exist in the Old Testament. Somehow the Israelites back then knew differently. Even in the Babylonian captivity, they knew differently. Not only did they know that there was a Redeemer or a Messiah coming for the salvation of the children of Israel, i.e. the report written by Isaiah in Isaiah 53, but they were also going and teaching other nations of this Redeemer and this Messiah. So there's a well-recorded history of not only from the Jews, but of Chinese history, of not only an Israelite presence, but also a strong Israelite cultural and religious influence. So there's historical evidence, there's biblical evidence, because remember, he said that he's going to pick the people up from the land of where? Sinem, China and Southeast Asia. So the Bible says that he's going to be picking up our people from here. Biblical evidence, historical evidence, genetic evidence we're about to get into, archaeological evidence, religious evidence, social evidence. Put a 1 in the chat if you're following me here. Well-recorded history of the Jews entering into China. Read.
Lost Tribes of Israel. You want that one? The next one? Lost Tribes of Israel in the Pacific and Asian Rim by David H. Chin.
Yep.
Gradually, the Israelite immigrants settled in the Kaifeng area and developed their own style of Israel communities.
So they moved into China and they said, you know what, we do like how Israelites do. We went in and we said, you know, China, y'all doing all right. We're going to add some Israelite flavor to what y'all got going on over here. So they started building up their own communities and cities in the Kaifeng area. Read.
Sometimes referred to as the Jewish communities, and lived their own way of life.
And lived their own way of life. We were separate. They didn't bother us. We didn't bother them. Now, if anybody's saying, well, where is this history? Look up blue hat Muslims in Chinese history. And you'll find a lot more history than just this of the Israelites in Asia. The Chinese people refer to us as blue hat Muslims in their historical records and in their white papers. Okay? Go ahead and read that, Elder. Tawada.
Continue. regardless of whether they went through Siberia, Silk
Regardless of
routes,
where they went through Siberia, Russia.
Silk routes, or any other paths they entered into China.
He's saying it don't matter which way you said that they came in. We know that they came in. Read.
Their settlement in the Kaifeng area of China's Henan provinces was a historical fact.
Is a historical what?
Fact.
It cannot be denied. Brothers and sisters, remember, this is the Babylonian captivity. This is after the 10 tribes are gone. These are people that are the same tribe as me, as the elder, as Rakasakar, tribe of Judah. Same thing out here in Kaifeng. Find me a Negro in Kaifeng. Please. Find me a Negro. Find me a brother that looks like me in Kaifeng. And don't say, oh, well, they were through marriage, they married out. So you telling me that over 1,000 years they ain't have no men were born? The most fertile people on planet Earth, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi can't sire a boy, can't sire a son. I've never seen it. Not from a whole generation for 1,000 years. Never seen it. Bloodline is determined by the man. So that means that if there's a man and his father was Judah, and his father was Judah, and his father was Judah, I don't care what he looks like. He's from the tribe of Judah. Read. The assimilation of the children of Israel. Actually, go ahead and read that. This is the next quote, Elder. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The assimilation of the children of Israel into the native Chinese was organized by the Jesuits.
But it was organized by who?
The Jesuits.
Now people will sit up here and tell us, "Oh, you're yelling at a ghost. Jesuits don't exist. It's a myth. You're blaming everything on the Jesuits." History. The Jesuits, the assassins of the Roman Catholic Church, founded by Ignatius Loyola, actually went in and they said, the Jews over there, get rid of them. They said that the assimilation of the children of Israel with the native Chinese was organized by who, Elder?
The Jesuits.
The Jesuits. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. Actually, if you didn't know that, say you didn't know that. Read.
The Jesuits not only visited the Kaifeng cities where the Jews lived, but they also studied them and their communities.
Interesting. Look at that. So you know these white people that be going into these cities. Oh, we just want to do research, get to know the people. We just want to see the culture. They with their notepad just writing everything down. What's that? What do you call that little stick that you have there? What do you call that? And they're just sitting there. And how about Christianity? What do you think about that? And they're interviewing people and they're writing down everything. They're Jesuits. They're not taking down information to get to know you better. They're not taking down information because it's important to the archives. They're not taking down information just to become knowledgeable. They're taking down information to become knowledgeable on how to destroy you. Ever think that how it's just so convenient that every time a European goes in as a missionary, disguising themselves, oh, we're just coming in the name of Jesus, write a book on you, and 10 years later, somebody's coming in to put you in slavery? Coincidence? Mungo Park, Travels of Interior Africa, Manasseh ben Israel, Montesinos, Christopher Columbus. Hernan Cortez.
You can keep
All of these
going.
people. Go ahead.
So you can keep going.
Oh, I got plenty. All of these brothers. A missionary came in. Oh yeah, we just want to learn. What's that marriage ceremony? How do they get all of this information? They're interviewing people, they're studying people, and then after they get all the information that they need, you know what? Here's how we destroy them.
The Jesuits not only visited the Kaifeng cities where the Jews lived, but they also studied them and their communities and found that they still had their own religions.
Whoa, they were looking for criteria. They knew who they were when they found them. It wasn't like, oh, we just stumbled upon the Israelites. They said, okay, the Israelites are over here, and see if they're still them. See if they still have their same cultural practices. Read.
Their ministers read their own scriptures.
Oh,
read. And their social circles were very small as it pertains to the surrounding population of Gentiles, although some intermarriage had begun. It took only a couple of 100 years for this to completely change.
The assimilation was organized by the Jesuits. The Jesuits went in saying, we know that these people are Israelites. Let's do our research. Let's go in and just say, I'm a college student writing a paper. I'm a foreign exchange student. I'm supposed to interview you. They sit down, take down all your information. And what book is that you're reading? Oh, it's a copy of the Torah? Perfect. I'm just going to write that down in my notepad. And what they saw was that not only did these people still have their own religious practices, they were still keeping the laws of the Bible, that they were still reading their own scriptures, but that they stayed separate mostly from the Chinese, from the Gentiles, from Gog and Magog. They remained separate. But after the Jesuits came in, it said it only took a couple 100 years for this to completely change. The Jesuits said, you know what, we're going to do this differently than how we did it in the past. We're going to do this differently how we did in the past. Since you guys are at peace, don't war. Use the peace against them. Say, we're at peace. How about we marry? Go ahead and get the next part, Elder. Same book.
There was ample evidence that the Israelites, through interracial marriages, were already assimilated with the indigenous people of the Han Chinese, the majority race of China. In addition, American and European scholars commented upon returning.
So whoa, hold on. Oh, do you notice that? Who did it say in the previous chapter was going in and studying the people? The Jesuits, right?
What did I miss? Yeah, Jesuits, yeah.
The Jesuits were going in and studying them, right? And now it's saying that the scholars that studied them were Americans and Europeans.
Yeah.
The Jesuits were Europeans. They were Caucasians. They were Esau. Amalek, brothers and sisters, the one that the Most High said would battle with us for every generation until the end. It seems like everywhere we were, Amalek was close behind. Those Jesuits that were taking notes, that were studying, they were American and European.
Upon returning from their visit to China at the end of the 16th century AD, that there were only a few Israel or Jewish scriptures left.
Wow. So those same Jesuits left, and when they returned in the 1500s, they realized everything's changed. When the Jesuits came before, everything was cool. We seen a whole Israelite community. We come back a couple 100 years later, gone. Did they just all get bombed? Was it a Thanos snap and they all turned into pixie dust? What happened, Elder? Go ahead and read.
And the people of the Israelites were already completely assimilated by the Chinese race after the 16th century AD.
Assimilation. They used the peace between the Chinese and the Israelites to assimilate us, to get rid of us. So a lot of people was pissed off at our lesson that we did. Remember, Elder, the short that we posted, protect your strength?
Yeah.
Everybody had an attitude. Everybody was mad. Oh, you're racist, perpetuating racism. It's a weapon. Nobody's saying that we dislike anybody else. No one's saying that listen, we're black. Every Adam and Eve were black. Every shade and race of color came from us. Came from dark-skinned people. Nobody's hating on any other race, but it's a weapon, not genetically. It's a weapon religiously. Understand the reason why those brothers placed their daughters before Solomon? They didn't place those daughters before Solomon because they just wanted, oh yeah, we want your children to be different races. They put those women in front of Solomon to cause him to fall. It wasn't about the race of the woman. It wasn't about the nation of the woman. It was about the God that woman served.